Hey everybody, it's Ian the Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. Today I'm going to be making this fun space alien card. I definitely think it's out of this world, if I do say so myself. This card is heavily inspired by this card by Jessica Spencer from Lawn Fawn, or created for Lawn Fawn by Jessica Spencer. I got inspiration from this one, and it has similarities to it, but I think I took it in a fun direction and put my own spin on it, basically. And to get started, I'm going to use some Memento Tuxedo Black ink with this super cute stamp set. It's brand new, just put it into its little stamp pocket and never used it before, so I'm excited to break it out and get it all inky and have some fun with it. So I'm using my Tim Holtz Tonic platform to stamp all my images down onto my platform here. I love this freaking thing. Makes life so much easier, and yeah, I really love it. It's super easy. I did have to stamp it a couple of times because the first time, this ink pad is not very juicy, and it needed a little bit of help, so I had to stamp it 2 or 3 times, which I'm glad I was able to do. And just to prove how imperfect I am, I'm going to show you a little blooper here of when I dropped the ink pad onto my stamp platform. Oh, yeah. That's about par for the course for me. So now I'm going to go ahead and color it in and get everything all nice and colored up. I'm using some Copic markers to color everything in. You'll also notice that my voice sounds a little bit different because I'm having to do a voiceover instead of actually speaking to you and tell you exactly what I'm doing as I'm doing it. We're having some reconstruction done, or remodeling I should say, done here in the house. And when I was doing this, there was a lot of banging and hammering and all sorts of noises, which don't translate very well whenever you're trying to record a video. So I am doing a voiceover for it instead. You'll also notice that I had some party hats on this page, and I ended up not using them. They were just too tiny, and I didn't like the way that they looked, so I decided to go without them. I am going to cut everything out using my Cuttlebug and the coordinating die sets, because y'all know exactly how much I hate doing some fussy cutting. Fussy cutting is the worst, and anytime I can find a coordinating die set, I definitely purchase it as well, which this was a great purchase because you can also use it with the other, I can't remember the stamp's name at the moment, but you can use it with some other spacey stamps from Lawn Fawn, which is really cool. I took a piece of gray cardstock and used my circle stitch dies from Simon Says Stamp to cut out this circle, and to make that metallic part, I didn't have any metallic paper, but I'm going to make my own using some embossing powder, some silver embossing powder. I am going to go ahead and just use a little glue, dry adhesive, to tape it down onto a piece of paper so that way I can hold it and manipulate it as needed, and I don't have to like burn my fingers as I'm putting the embossing powder on it. I am using my Versamark ink pad to ink this up. I'm going straight to paper. Just take that stamp pad and put it right on there. Just lather it up all nice and sticky. And then I'm using some Ranger silver embossing powder. I believe this is fine embossing powder, so I'm going to put that on and just shake it on, cover it all up. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, this is like crafter's porn or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, but basically just like that, add on the embossing powder and tap off all the excess. I hate wasting it. Right there in the center, you can see it. Oh, and here's my favorite. Here's the money shot right here. As that I could watch embossing powder melt all day long. There's something so therapeutic about it. I don't know. It's just so awesome. And oh, look at that. That's just gorgeousness right there. But I'm not going to stop there. No. I'm going to add, I think I ended up adding 3 layers of embossing powder because I really wanted it to stand out there, and I wanted that nice shiny look to it. So I'm going to put another layer of embossing powder, and my embossing powder is a little chunky right there, but I heated it up again. Oh, here comes the fun part. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, so nice. Right there, all the way to the tip. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, we got that all nice and embossed, and I did waste a little bit, but that's okay. I am using one of my splatter brushes that the Art Sherpa gave me and some white gesso. I thought about pouring it out onto my craft sheet here, and that I knew that was going to be a mistake. So I went ahead and just dipped the bristles into the gesso. It's just a little bit, just barely touched the tip. It's even hard to see there, but I just barely touched the tip of my brush into that gesso, and it glopped up on the end, and I didn't want it to splurt in weird shapes because I wanted stars. This is going to represent stars on the background. So I'm going to go ahead and start flicking that brush and creating these little star bits, stardust, whatever you want to call it, onto a back panel. It's a piece of black cardstock, it's all it is, and just add a little bit of white onto it. And then I'm going to tape it on. You'll notice that when I flip it over right there, I have some stars that I white heat embossed as well. Ends up, most of them get covered up in the final product, so you don't really get to see too many of them, but this little star stamp is included in this stamp set. So I think I wanted to add in a little few stars into it as well. I went ahead and stamped that beaming shape using some yellow cardstock, just stamped it straight onto there, and then I taped the alien into the UFO and then the little beaming light underneath it. And I put it on using my gray paper as kind of a guide. And then I'm going to put a piece of clear acetate on the back side of this gray paper. So that way it kind of looks like a true window out into space, like there's actually a pane of glass in between the inside and the outside of the spaceship. And as I'm doing that, I'm trying to think of, is there anything else that I need to add? No, it looks pretty good. Does anybody see the mistake right here? Do you see the mistake that I'm about to do? No. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I'm going to let you keep thinking about it because I just made a huge mistake right here. Maybe not huge, but it's definitely a mistake that I was like, really? Did I just do that? Because I sure did. I really did. And I was so mad at myself when I realized what was going on. So I'm going to add some adhesive onto the circle piece, and I'm going to attach that onto the piece of acetate and just kind of pop it back in. Since I added the embossing powder, it's a little thicker now, so it doesn't quite fit flush with the gray cardstock, but it gives me enough guide that I could plug that piece back in. So it's kind of like die cut inlay. Oh yeah, if you figured out that I forgot to put the cake on the outside of the window instead of the inside, yeah. So here's me going, oh shoot. Okay, well, that's easy enough. I can pull the card apart, right? Wrong. Yeah, no, I used some of that score tape, and that's not coming undone. So I moved on for now. I used another piece of gray cardstock, a little different shade, and my stitched rectangle from Simon Says Stamp. And I'm gonna create a floor by cutting this piece down so that it fits to the dimension of the card and has that nice stitched border on it, which is what I want. And I'll cut the other side as well, and then I'll put some adhesive on it and tape it down, glue it down, whatever you want to say, down at the bottom of the card, so that way my little aliens on the inside have some sort of like ground to sit on. And technically they could float because this is all happening in outer space, but let's face it, this is an alien race and they have more advanced technology than we do, and so they figured out that the gravity, not anti-gravity, that would be floating. But anyways, so I went ahead and kind of laid everything out where I thought I would want it and added some adhesive onto the back, adding the present and the little flag in the little alien hands, and then I couldn't figure out where to put this guy, but I ended up putting him right there, and I ended up just gluing the cake down on the outside, or the technical inside of the spaceship, and just said, you know what, it is what it is. There are super cute greetings in this stamp set, and so I stamped it onto the bottom, and since it was spacey, I wanted them to kind of be spacey and not really have gravity to them, so they're at different angles. And on the inside of the card, I'm using some VersaFine ink here and stamping "Take us to your cake." Yeah, that's what it says. Take us to your cake. So all in all, I think this card came out well, and I really like how everything looks. I only used 2 colors on each alien. You saw back during the Copic coloring, I didn't use 3, but honestly, for this, it doesn't really need it. If you really wanted to get hardcore with it, you could, but I think this will do just fine. So that's this week's card. It was it was a bugger to create, and I definitely made some mistakes with it, but overall, I really like this card, and I think the recipient's gonna love it as well. Don't forget, guys, if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. That lets YouTube know that you liked my video, and then hopefully they'll share it across YouTube land. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel and get great updates every time I post a new video by clicking the bell icon. That sends you a notification every time I post a new video or go live. I hope everybody has a great day. Remember, guys, keep it off kilter. Bye!